Hello and good evening and welcome back to my channel. Right, a little bit more on immigration in Ireland. right, okay. Rate of illegal immigrants in Ireland is 10 times the EU average. A total of 1,485 non-EU nationals were found to be illegally present in Ireland last year, and annual increase of 20%. So in conclusion with that, new EU figures raise fresh questions about the government's enforcement of immigration legislation, as they reveal Ireland had proportionately the highest number of non-EU citizens found to be illegally present in an EU country last year. Also, figures published by the European Commission show the rate of illegal immigrants recorded in the Republic in 2023 in relation to population was over 10 times the EU average. So there's no surprise there. A total of 1,485 non-EU nationals were found to be illegally present in Ireland last year, an annual increase of 20%. Third country nationals subject to the enforcement of immigration legislation in EU member states from 2014 to 2023. So it peaks at almost 200,000. So, what does that tell you? Michael Martin, he hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know his head from his arse. They represent 28.9 illegal third country nationals per 1,000 Irish inhabitants, the highest per capita rate among the 27 EU member states, where the average was 2.8 per 1,000 citizens. Official EU data on enforcement of immigration legislation in 2023 also shows that Ireland had the second lowest number of non-EU nationals deported after being issued with an order to leave. So, at the same time, it also reveals that Ireland had the fourth highest number of non-EU nationals being refused entry within the EU, with 7,405 individuals turned back at entry points to the Republic. Now, although the number of migrants found to be illegally in the Republic last year represent just 0.1% of over 1.26 million individuals found to be illegally present across the EU, the high proportion relative to population means immigration is likely to remain one of the key issues in next month's local and European elections in Ireland. Now, last month the Minister for Justice, Helen McEntee, admitted that the level of deportations of people who had been denied permission to remain in Ireland was not where they wanted it to be in terms of physically removing people. So, the Minister's comments were made again a background where fewer than 100 people out of almost 7,300 who were refused asylum since the start of 2023 were returned to another country. The latest EU figures show that 17,510 non-EU nationals have been detected as being illegally present in Ireland over the past decade, with 10,875 ordered to leave. However, only 2,795 were deported over the same period after being issued with an order to leave. Now, across the EU, citizens from Syria accounted for 1 in 5 of all people found to be illegally present in the EU back in 2023. So, other countries which were the main source of non-EU nationals illegally within the EU last year were Afghanistan, Turkey, Morocco, Algeria and Ukraine. Saying that, in contrast, the largest number of immigrants found to be illegally in Ireland last year came from Georgia, 270, Brazil, 240, Pakistan, 190 and Albania, 185. So, the latest figures show that immigration officials ordered 1,065 people to leave Ireland in 2023, up to 69% on the previous year and the highest annual total since 2019. However, they also revealed that just 299 EU nationals were deported from Ireland last year. The second lowest total amount, the 27 EU member states after Luxembourg were with 265. Citizens from Brazil, Georgia and South Africa accounted for approximately half of all individuals deported from the Republic in 2023. Almost 484,000 non-EU citizens were ordered to leave the EU last year, up by 4% approximately in 2022, figures with nationals from Morocco, Algeria and Afghanistan accounting for the highest numbers. So take that into consideration. The latest figures also show 7,405 non-EU citizens were prevented from entering the Republic of Ireland last year. It was the fourth highest number among EU member states, with only Poland, Hungary and Croatia refusing a high number of non-EU nationals. However, official figures show that just 3.3% of those refused entry by Irish immigration officials were stopped at border crossings from Northern Ireland. Should be the same down here, to be honest with you. Georgia, however, 610, South Africa 605 and Somalia 580 were the main countries of origin for non-EU nationals prevented from entering Ireland in 2023. Immigration data shows 58% were refused entry for having no valid travel documents, while 33% were found to have either a false visa or resident permit. Anyway, the total of 65 individuals were refused entry to Ireland on the basis they were classified as a public threat, while an alert had been issued in relation to another 10 cases. So, overall, the number of third country nationals refused entry across the EU last year was down 16.5% on 2022 figures to just under 119,000, with citizens from Ukraine, Albania, Moldova, Russia and Turkey accounting for almost half of the total. And the European Commission said almost 50% of refusal of entry in EU countries resulted from the absence of valid visa or resident permit, or for no justified purpose or conditions of stay. So it's pretty clear what it tells you. There's a lot of illegal immigrants that have come into the country, stowed away on vehicles, and they're trying to find any way they can, just like the same issues they're having in the UK. So it's accounted for. So it's a big issue, and it's just going to keep on escalating, to be honest with you. So that's the numbers. That's just these statistics with the Immigration Department in the Republic of Ireland. So if you want to hear more content, more videos in regards to the immigration and any more updates in regards to what's happening in the Republic of Ireland, please like, subscribe and comment, and I'll get back to you. Thank you.